Yeah, we're here today to introduce you to a brand new product coming to the market. It's called the Easy Fix Exhaust Repair Part. It's sold by JW Innovative Parts. I'm the owner of the company, and I'm here to show you my new part. This is called the exhaust flange. This is called the donut or the exhaust flange gasket, and this is your exhaust pipe. This part is designed for any 2 and 3 bolt systems that have these kind of ears on them. Some have 2, some have 3. As long as this clamp has a place to sit on one of the ears, it will fix the problem with the leak. After you install this, for any reason that you still have a little bit of a leak where you installed this at, tighten this nut up. That's the only adjustment you'll have after you install it. You don't need to tighten this stud up anymore. Once it's on there, it's done. So like I said, if it's still leaking a little bit, just tighten the nut up and it'll shut that noise off. This product is, like I said, from the JW Innovative Parts Company. It's called the Easy Fix Exhaust Repair Clamp. This is a picture of it down here. I'm sure the camera can pick that up. If you want to zoom in, I'll show you exactly how this is supposed to work. When you have one of these problems occur where the bolt breaks off right here, this ear will fall down on the exhaust pipe. So in order to repair that, you go to an exhaust repair shop and they'll either drill that bolt out of the exhaust flange or they'll cut it off with a torch and blow a hole through there to put a new stud through it. Generally, they just put a stud and a nut through there and bolt it back together, which puts a strain on these cast iron flanges. That work being done to it as far as drilling, cutting off with a torch and everything, weakens these to a point where if you run over something in the road, or sometimes it just gets to the point there's so much stress on it when you start the engine that these tend to break off. Then you have to replace the whole exhaust manifold. That can lead into a lot of problems. As you'll see in the video that I'm going to do here in a few at the shop, demonstrate how it's put on, what you have to take off, cut off. You can do most of this work with just some simple tools, a die grinder with a cutoff wheel or a Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel, anything that you can cut the remaining parts of the bolts off, flush with the exhaust flange. That's all you're going to need. And then once you have that completed, you'll install this part, the exhaust clamp here, and that will draw the exhaust pipe back in position where it belongs, and it will quiet the noise. So without any further delay here, let's go over to the shop and I'm going to show you how to put one of these on. We're going to use a 97 Ford F-150 today, and it's got that leak. So we're going to take care of that. Let's go over to the shop. Good afternoon. We're going to first want to thank Milford Service Center for letting us use his shop to do this repair job we're going to do today. It's a repair part called the Easy Fix Exhaust Repair Clamp. It's designed to fix your exhaust manifold flange gasket, better known as the donut broken bolt problem that a lot of 2 and 3 bolt systems have. Once they break off, you'll have to go to a muffler shop to have it repaired, which can lead to further damages to the exhaust manifold because generally they drill the old bolt out or cut it out with a torch, and that tends to weaken the exhaust flange ears where the original bolts are. And this part that we're going to show you today for this repair is to eliminate that problem. It basically replaces the original bolt without all the drilling, none of the torches, and none of the tapping of new threads or any of that. And in some cases, this could lead into $400+ per side on a V8 engine when a muffler shop does it, because they may have to remove the exhaust manifolds from the engine. And if you know anything about aluminum heads and you're pulling bolts out of the aluminum head, you have to be very careful, because sometimes you'll tend to pull the threads out with the bolt, and then you'll have to re-tap and thread the heads. So this idea has been in the works for 7 years or so. My name's Jerry VanDusen. I'm the owner of JW Innovative Parts. It's called the Easy Fix Exhaust Manifold Flange Broken Bolt Repair. The actual part is called the Easy Fix Clamp, and it does just that. It easily fixes the problem. Anyone with any kind of mechanical knowledge of any kind should be able to do this without any problems. This is a 97 Ford F-150. We're going to do the repair on this truck. It should take approximately half an hour, 45 minutes at the longest. It's removing the remaining part of the original bolts with a cut-off wheel on a die grinder, or you could use a Dremel tool. There's no need for torches or anything like that. We'll get this truck up on the rack here, and then we'll get going. I want to thank again Milford. He's been a great help to us by letting us use his garage and his hoist and his tools. So let's get started on this repair. Yeah, today we're going to do a video on how to replace a broken exhaust donut bolt, as it's commonly known. It's the exhaust flange gasket. When those are broken, it creates a little bit of a noise for you. So today we had a new part. It's called the Easy Fix Exhaust Repair. It's manufactured by a company called JW Innovative Parts. They're based out of South Bend, Indiana. We're gonna cut off some parts here, and if you look up here where the bolts are, these are the bolts you're going to be cutting off. This one is fine, so we're going to replace this one on this side to close it back up and secure the noise. So the first thing we're going to have to do is cut off that bolt. So let's get started on the bolt. Okay, now that we've got that bolt cut off, we need to put a stone on to smooth the flange off here on the bottom and on top. Make sure it's nice and smooth so that when we install the new part, it's the Easy Fix Exhaust Repair Clamp.
There you go.
This will keep that from coming apart again. Okay, let's grind that nice and smooth up there. Now we've got the area prepared for the installation of the clamp. It's been ground off smooth, the exhaust flange. This is going to be the clamp that you're going to be installing. It's called the Easy Fix Exhaust Clamp. It comes packaged, completely put together. The only part that you will remove is the top clamp. And when you have this is left together, but only if your exhaust flange on your exhaust pipe is welded to it or the other stud is not broken off of the exhaust manifold. If it is, then you'll have to take this apart. Okay, on the exhaust flange, there's the angle. Remember, that always goes towards the exhaust manifold. This assembly here is a lot easier to put in there when it's all left together like this. So at all possibility, leave it all together. It'll make the job a lot simpler. These are probably the best product for this job. on the market today. They are well protected against rust with zinc coating. They make the job relatively easy because there's not a lot of extra parts if you just leave this all assembled. And removing the stud, it's basically cutting off the remaining part of it, making it smooth on the bottom and on the top of the exhaust flange. And you can use the die grinder, Dremel tool, like I mentioned. Remember safety, always be safe. Keep the car, vehicle, whatever you're working on to install this on. Safety is the utmost. You should be wearing gloves and goggles, which I am not, but sometimes I forget to do that too. These are probably going to be in a range from $20 to $30. They come in 5 different sizes. The first thing you want to do when you're going to use one of these parts to fix your leak is to just measure the flange. That's going to be the distance between here. So whatever that flange size is, buy the correct one for it. It'll make the job even easier because they just slide on once you level the top and the bottom, removing the remaining parts of the stud, the broken stud. I think we're good enough now where we can go ahead and do the installation, and so I'll show you how that works. Okay, remember the angle side leans towards the exhaust flange, so you'll set it on the flange up here. You have still your complete assembly of the spring and the stud. Put that up through your exhaust pipe flange. Line the nut up with the bolt. Just get it started in there. Very simple. Okay, it's good and started. And now you're going to need a long extension with a 3/16 Allen head socket wrench. That's going to be what you're using to tighten the stud up with. Make sure you have the wrench going the right way. Just tighten the stud down to the point where it's snug on there. Leave it at that. Then you're going to use a 9/16 socket. It doesn't really have to be a long, deep well because the stud is just long enough for that nut to go on there, and you're going to pull that nut up so that it's approximately even with the bottom or just above the bottom of the stud. And then you can take your Allen head again, put it back into the stud bolt, and just kind of give it about a quarter of a turn. And now you're done. It's on. These have the built-in locking system, so these should never come off of there unless you take them off. This has been a relatively easy repair. I think you should have no problem doing this. Anyone with some kind of mechanical ability can do this job. It's very simple, very easy. That's why it's called the Easy Fix Exhaust Repair Kit. I want to thank everybody for watching the video, and we'll see you in the movies. Okay, now that we've got the Easy Fix clamp in there, we noticed we had a little bit of a leak yet, so we made that one final adjustment with the nut and the nut only. Just tighten it up a little bit until the noise goes away, and you're good to go. Let me start this thing up. Geez, it sounds like it's brand new, like it never had a leak. I think we're good to go.